Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Welcome to the 93rd Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with co-host Andrew, soon-to-be 3 Normand, and Mikey A. Today's topic is brotherhood. Can you share what this means to you, Mikey, and why you were happy to come discuss this here today instead of disgusting this here today?
Well, I could tell you that I'm glad to share on brotherhood today because it's something that I need to lean on very heavily right now. I love that I've been able to build relationships with you gentlemen because I've kind of been going through it in my recovery right now, man. I went through some stuff in the past week and a half that really has thrown me off. And if anybody has watched any of these podcasts and seen, I usually like to be upbeat, positive, happy, and I've just been struggling a little bit. And the brotherhood aspect of this thing, man, is like I'm so grateful that I built these relationships because I have people that'll reach out to me and kind of try and help me drag me out of that little bit of I call it my lair of despair. And I've just been going through it, man. So it's important for me to be able to stay connected and through the fellowship and through the brotherhood aspect through my brothers like you two gentlemen, man.
Let's go.
I'm grateful to be able to be here and still kind of go through it, but show up and be clean. And here we are, boys. I love you both, man. I love everybody out there too.
Man, I love you, Mikey, and you sharing your vulnerability and just being willing to come and just accept our love means a lot to me. Okay, Mr. Pookie Wookie, Andrew N.
Mr. Pookie Wookie. First off, man, I love you guys so much, man. I love you guys. Mikey, I love you, man. I fucking love you, man. And it's going to be okay. Whatever's going on, you and I talk about things a lot. And, what you can't, we can, man. I can promise you that. So this brotherhood thing, I'm so glad that this all kind of, everything happens for a reason. You can't make this shit up. How people go through struggles and things get scheduled, and then things just seem to happen when they happen. When you're working a program, man, life does not get better. We get better at life, Mikey. Right? Like this is just one of those times. But you got the brotherhood of NA runs deep, bro. It's what keeps people coming back. Really, is when I started thinking about it. It's the main reason that kept me coming back. That brotherhood, that fellowship. That we do not do it alone mentality, which is fucking perfect for what we're sitting here talking about right now in real time, Mikey. I came to find that like I didn't just find recovery in these rooms, man. I found a family. I found a family. Someone who could, people that could understand my struggle. Love me anyways. This brotherhood, which gave me, connection, accountability, unconditional love in real time, unconditional love in action. Let us love you till you learn how to love yourself. How beautiful is that? When you're sitting in a meeting and you're beat down and you got people just saying, look, let us love you, young man, till you learn how to love yourself. Like, how do you not lean into that? How do you not go, yeah, please give me some of that, So this brotherhood is something that's created through, and we're going to get into a lot of this, and there's a lot of points, and there's a lot of depth to this subject, and I think it's a good one, especially for you today, Mikey. But the fellowship is what kept me coming back. I think it's what keeps a lot of people coming back. The brotherhood, that feeling a part of, because we didn't feel a part of anything out there. We were going against the grain the whole time before we got here, most of us. And so, yeah, man, we'll get into all that other stuff as we keep going. But I'll pass that to you, Magic Milan. What is your feeling on the topic, brother?
Ooh, well, man, like I got this fever and I'm burning up. And part of this fever comes from having brothers. part of the reason that recovery is what it is to me is because of the community of people that I'm building that I love. And, life was fucking ultra transactional at the end of my addiction. It was ultra transactional, masked in a people pleasing lie of emotions that was so well masked, nobody wanted to talk about it. And right now, I don't want something from you boys. I want to share two things with you. Number one, I want to share life with you because we're still here alive. And number two, I want to share recovery with you. And if you don't think I want more recovery out of you, well, like I swear, like the more recovery we get, the more I want. It's
Yeah,
like
man.
it's like this willingness is like a bonfire, man. Like someone just threw a pallet with gas on it into the middle of the fire, and I'm like, woo, I'm burning up with my love for recovery. But consequently, it's these conversations that we have together here in these podcasts. Like, man, they're the main fuel of my fire these days. Like the program as a whole fuels my fire. But there's something about these extended, deeper level conversations that really kind of bring me more aha moments on a day to day basis. Like I feel like going to a meeting is kind of like my online course, but man, coming into some of these podcasts are like real university level shit, like where I'm just like, whoa, this ain't a program of self improvement. This is a program of surrender.
I'm getting a doctorate course, man. That's
That's
funny.
right. So, it actually just for me today, it really touched me that I got to share it with both you, especially right before your anniversary, Andrew. Like you have brought a lot of, you've brought a lot of hope to a lot of people in your meetings, and you brought a lot of love to people who felt unloved. And for that, even myself, I feel grateful. And you've brought insight into the program, like you might say a lot of catchy phrases, but there's an infinite amount of wisdom inside those. Like once you start learning the program, that means something. And Mikey, you're drop the Mikey. You're like, poof, you say stuff, and then it's like, poof, that mic hits the ground. It's like drop the Mikey, New Jersey, man. And you've done nothing but, man, bring warmth and joy to my heart in our interactions. So getting to be here today is an honor and a privilege that I'm grateful to have. And Mikey, you want to ask the first question to Andrew just to shake it up?
You haven't shaken it up. You just totally shook it, the whole thing up, my Milan. You
I
crazy, man.
I know. You know what though? Is I thought, why not just break from regularity? Like I
We've
was
done
like,
100. We've done 100 episodes, and you just said, whoosh, whap that shit. That's funny.
All right, all
I
right.
love it.
I'm gonna start us off with a fiery one, a little flamey one, if you will.
muy
How can
picante.
individuals how can individuals address conflicts or disagreements within a brotherhood without jeopardizing the support and connection it provides?
Say that one more time because that was a great question.
How can individuals address conflicts or disagreements within a brotherhood without jeopardizing the support and connection it provides?
Wow, that's a great question, Mikey. You know, we've got to go through shit, man. We got to go through shit. So there's a shared struggle here, right? There's a shared struggle that we all face. Whether it's coming in here, there's similarities in our story, or once we get in here, we find those similarities. But it creates a deeper bond. It creates a deeper bond that, as it relates to me, and as I'm thinking about your question, I mean, I'm in a better place as I get clean and as I start cleaning out. So I'm not too worried about coming to blows with you, right? Like I'm like as we share experiences, or as we share our experiences before we got in here, you know, out there I was isolated. In here I'm reconnected. So that's a different feeling, when you're out there and you're isolated and you're not tapped in at all to anything and you don't want to be. It's uncomfortable. Now that I'm in here, there's so much of it. I've got to lean into that. Plus I'm getting clean. I don't have drugs in my system anymore. And so I'm getting reconnected to myself, to my spirituality, to the God of my understanding. And so, yeah, conflicts and stuff come up, and a lot of times we go through trying times, and we learn, we live and learn, and we see things happen in real time around here. But I gotta lean into, even if it is bad, or there's a struggle, I'm gonna push through it, because, bro, I've been through so many struggles in this program, but they all seem to be beautiful on the other side. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of them that are still in the trash can that I don't want to ever revisit ever again. But a lot of them, there's a lot of beauty in that other side of that struggle, where like you get through that thing, and then there's just a diamond waiting on the other side of that. You go, man, I'm so glad I stuck through it, through that trying time or whatever. So it's really not shying away from any kind of issues that come up as a result of you working with your brothers on whatever you're doing, keeping them clean, helping somebody out, helping them move, whatever the fuck you're doing. I hope that answered your question, because it was a very intricate question. I think I did. Love you.
Nailed it.
I love it. Okay, could you
Milan,
repeat
you
the
need to
question?
repeat.
Oh, I like automatic repeat. Whoop, 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 whoop,
Fair
whoop.
enough. How can individuals address conflicts or disagreements within a brotherhood without jeopardizing the support and connection it provides?
Okay, so I think I've had it happen, right? So I mean, I'm not gonna pussyfoot and pretend I was like, "Ooh, Buddha, man." But what happened is I was smart enough to talk to someone else about it, being my sponsor. And I talked to a couple of friends, and to be honest, my sponsor gave better advice than them. Who's kidding you? He's a little further along in his program, and he's just tries to live the program a little bit better. And first thing he said was to pray for that person for 2 weeks straight. And man, for anybody who's never done that, praying for the best for that person, praying for love, for happiness, for success for them, that's a life-changing thing when you're in a conflict with someone. So anybody who's never tried that, I know my sponsor didn't make that one up, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. And I don't know anybody who's done it for 2 weeks solid who hasn't felt a positive impact from it. Another thing for it, I believe, is pausing. For myself, I am the instant jerk and generally the hour and a half nice guy. If I can remove myself from that situation before I say anything, there's a good chance I don't light the bridge on fire. And I can actually come back and walk across the bridge to shake hands with somebody. Like it's a big thing for me that I've learned. It's like, walk away and shut up. Or shut up and walk away, because I can still talk while I'm walking. But, and then another thing is being honest, like being honest about what you're feeling due to that situation with that person. Like hiding behind a lie of people pleasing is a resentment waiting to happen, for sure, for me. For me, it's like, if I am like gritting my teeth, like, tomorrow I hate you, and I don't want to hate you ever, and then I think of, like, man, it's like, just let's take a fishnet and throw it out for these spiritual principles on this question, because open-mindedness is the only way. Staying open-minded is the only way I'm ever going to actually understand your side of it. Like it's absolutely the only way, and remaining willing to change when I'm not the one who's right, and gosh, like, and I want to say the surrender of expectations. Let's just talk about surrender. Like the surrender of my expectations that I'm right, but also the surrender of my expectations of my position in the conflict. Like quite often, right? What is it they say, that we're either afraid of losing something we have or not getting what we want in a conflict, almost every single time. And both of those things are expectations. And so I think also too, I'm going to steal this from Mr. Andrew Ann, but the power of love is something that's going to make something like this not mushroom into a nuclear disaster. And I think that's it for me, man. But, oh, man, I liked that question, Mikey.
I want to say something real quick. You offended me a little bit earlier. You said, like, I say a lot of catchy sayings, like that's a bad thing. Like
No,
I'm
I
not
didn't
relating
though.
to.
I justified it that it's just that to somebody who's new, they don't
Back me up,
understand the
Mikey.
meaning of them.
Back me up, Mikey.
Hey, that's Mr. fucking acronym right there.
I mean, but is it too much? Do I need to stop? Should I stop, guys?
Absolutely not.
No. Like, okay, let's back this up and just have a talk on this. What it is that I see that when you say things in a rapid
Andrew,
succession like that, when you say things in a rapid succession like that to somebody who's new, they don't understand the meaning, but it's like the meaning comes rolling in. So it's like you can convey a big message really quickly and they're like, "Whoa." And then over time it comes in strong.
That's what okay. That makes a lot of sense to me. That makes a
No,
lot of
like
sense.
I was
And you didn't
actually
offend
I
me.
was
I was
actually
messing with you a little bit. I was
okay,
just
but
kind of
it was actually a compliment that on the
I
depth
know.
of what you're actually saying.
I'm impressed he's got so many of them. I'm just like,
That's
how do
what
you
I
find
mean.
those?
I have a photographic memory. Y'all don't understand. I literally have a photographic memory. I can
Oh,
literally
you
see
have to, dude. The way that you can
I'm
remember all the,
serious.
I know
I'm
that you.
serious.
I know.
The
I
first
used
time,
to
the
until I
first
was
time I ever,
15. We
the first time
destroyed
I
mine.
ever heard him say pride, primary reasons I die early. I said, I fuck with this guy. I fuck with this guy.
Yeah.
I love you guys, man. I love you guys, man. I was almost saying that because I wanted it to be like a Coulter moment where you like came back at the end of Milan and you were like, I don't know if I offended you earlier, Andrew, but
But like if I did, I am sorry.
you
But I
didn't.
won't
You
like
didn't.
I
You
won't
didn't.
change my complimenting you when I think
No,
it's
no,
a
no, no,
compliment.
no. I
So,
love you so much, man. I knew we could do that, and that was, bro. It didn't offend me. Like it took me back a little bit, but I understood what you meant, and it was exactly what you explained, and so that was perfect. Thank you.
yeah, I just I think like man, come on. The first time you sat in a room and people started slaying sayings, and you're like, shut up. Like I'm like, if I live and let God again, I'm gonna crush you. Like,
All right, guys. So I'm gonna start my question to you,
yeah. Oh
Mikey.
no,
I'm coming.
Mikey didn't answer it.
Oh, you did. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Michael.
Woo.
Almost got him off on that one.
Drop the Mikey's got something to say.
Yeah, I
How
need to
can
hear it.
individuals address conflicts or disagreements within a brotherhood without jeopardizing the support and connection it provides? Man, Milan, you hit a lot of nails on the head because I can cast a wide net right now and drag in some spiritual principles. And you guys, if you didn't think I was gonna ask myself a question that was gonna give me the old alley oop for humility, I don't know what question would right now. And you know, for this man, it's huge that open mindedness, that willingness to have that open mind, that willingness to be to stay in a humble type of posture because like man, it's hard sometimes, man. It's hard sometimes in this process to let go of what I really feel is right. And I'm so grateful today that I learned like I don't have to be right all the time. I just don't have to be, right? And if I have a disagreement or have call it a conflict, call it whatever you want to call it, with one of my brothers in this process, man, we get to be adults today. I'm gonna keep it on the eye. I get to be an adult today, and I don't have to just snap shut and just basically tell you to go fuck yourself and throw that away, man. Because part of this process is the growth, right? And we talk about that principles before personality all the time, and sometimes, man, it's hard. Sometimes, man, it's hard for me to apply any spiritual principle because they're foreign to me. But when I get to take that, have that pause moment and take a second and realize that like this thing's much bigger than just me and how I feel in my thought process, you know, it really strengthens that connection with another person because we can come back to the table and we can look at each other and be like, hey man, this is where I fell short. You know, moving forward, I'm gonna do better. You know, it's almost like a mini fucking ninth step, if you will, because you know, part of that for me, it's part of that daily inventory. I try not to offend people, and I need to remember too, even in this time that I've been going through, struggling right now. You know, I got to remember that like people just, I've developed these relationships, and at the end of the day, people just want to be there for me. And sometimes it's really hard for me to let go of that feeling of like, oh well, you know, I'm going through such and such. You have no idea. Like, just leave me alone. And that's where, you know, that's where I was kind of getting to. And I'm grateful that we have this podcast today because, you know, without jeopardizing support and connection, man, I gotta just get the fuck out of Mikey's way. I have to apply these spiritual principles in my life. And it's a lot easier said than done sometimes, man. But hit the nail on the head with that one, that unconditional love piece. I get to practice it, and not only practice giving it, I get to practice receiving it too. Because sometimes, man, that's such a foreign concept to me that like somebody wants nothing from me other than to see me do good. And I don't have to be this fucking secret agent anymore and look at you like, what do you really want from me? Because that's just my fucking disease trying to tell me otherwise. But man, you know, honesty, humility, open-mindedness, willingness, all those things I get to just throw in a pot, stir it, and here we are, right? And I don't have to be right, man. I could just be present and be part of a relationship. And it's important because we build these relationships with these connections that we find, right? This connection to this bigger thing that's eluded me for my entire life. And I get to learn to maintain those. I get to learn to maintain those through step work. And I'm just fucking glad to be here. I love you fellas. Andrew, you keep coming with them catchy slogans, brother.
Love you, man. I love you, bro. I love you, man. I'm just sitting here like thinking about. I was gonna piggyback on something you said, Mikey, because it was really, really important. But it'll come off on my question. You want me to ask the question now?
Yes.
Milan, I'm gonna ask you, Milan, right? And then we're gonna go around
Yes.
that way. Okay, cool. So this you hit on the love thing, man, and it rolls me right into my question. How is love expressed within the Brotherhood of NA, and why is it so important to your recovery?
Man, love's expressed in a phone call. Love's expressed in a friendly phrase that makes somebody feel welcome. Love is expressed in share, like carrying that space in a meeting and listening while someone else is talking, you know? Love is expressed in sponsorship. Love is expressed in a hug. Um, gosh, love is expressed in action, not words sometimes, you know? And love's expressed directly. I love you guys. And I think that's it for me.
I love you too, man. All right, Mikey, coming to you, brother. How is love expressed within the Brotherhood of NA, and why is it so important to your recovery?
How is love expressed? Through everything that I'm fucking not, that's for sure. You know, the first podcast I was ever on, we were talking about unconditional love, and you know, it's no coincidence that my guy over there from Virginia Beach is from the state of lovers. I don't know how they put it, but you know,
Virginia's for lovers.
Virginia is for lovers, right? But you know,
Is that really what the license plate
Yes,
says?
that's our state slogan.
Yep.
Send me a picture of your license plate.
Oh, I will.
I want to see it. Sorry, I never knew that.
No,
That's
you're okay.
unbelievable.
I was born in the right state, man.
I did not mean to interrupt there, but I could not fucking believe that.
It's not a
Fun fact,
coincidence.
New Jersey's the Garden State. We cultivate love.
So
It's not the
seeds
state of humility.
So you know, that unconditional love is like it's the most important spiritual principle in my opinion, right? Just because unconditional love and just love in general is all bigger, more encompassing than I am anything that I can. And you asked how's it cultivated?
No, how is love expressed within the Brotherhood of NA?
Man, by a simple phone call, by a simple text message, by a simple hug if you go to brick and mortars. You know, I'm heavy on the Zoom platform, so I don't really be getting a whole lot of real life NA hugs on a daily basis. However, man, like you know, these people that I form these relationships with, man, these men in this process who like I'm blessed to be able to call a brother, right? At the end of this month, I'm gonna be going to Ohio to go to one of my brother's houses. He's gonna, have me there for the weekend. We're gonna go to a convention in I believe in Cincinnati. We're gonna hack up a golf course. We're gonna do we're gonna do some things like outside of recovery, because like these are the connections that I've built. And I'm just grateful, man, because it's shown to me through ways that like I never thought was even possible. Right? I talked about that in the previous question, like letting people love me. And sometimes, man, it's still uncomfortable. Even 4 years, 1 month, and 11 sunrises into this thing. Um, Sometimes, man, that's uncomfortable, but that's okay, right? Because I'd rather struggle with the possibility of letting somebody love me than struggling with the possibility of like, am I going to die today or not, right? Because there's a whole different level of comfortability that comes with that. And I know today, like, I've been around these rooms in this process long enough that like the people that I surround myself with are definitely not trying to harm me. They're definitely not, right? And it's a fine line too, because sometimes, man, I surround myself with the people that I give spiritual consent to hurt my motherfucking feelings, right? And it's a fine line sometimes, because those people will call me on my shit. Those people will see that I'm struggling, even if I'm not really opening my mouth, and they'll call me out on it. And sometimes, man, that's like, how dare you? But I got to remember, these are the people that I chose for a reason, right? And today, man, the best part of that is just being honest with each other, right? Just being honest, like, yo, I'm feeling fucking funky, right? And then we can come onto this platform and kind of, you know, have that loving, caring, joking, like relationship that we have with each other, right? Because like, you know, it's a beautiful thing, man, because like this platform right here, this podcast is completely different than being in a meeting, right? Like I can be a little more a little more loose. I can be a little more open. I can be it's just different. And it's different in a good way. It's not different in a bad way. Like I don't have to sit here. I don't do this in a meeting either. I don't sit here and pretend to be what I'm not.
It's
But
not
like
structured. It's not structured.
exactly, it's not structured. So like I get to I get to show a little bit more, and I get to see what recovery is doing in other people's lives. And that's important. I had no idea if I answered that question, Andrew.
Fuck yeah, you did. Hell yeah, you did. You killed it, man.
Drop the Mikey.
That was
Boom,
dope. That
boom,
was dope.
boom.
You know you did a good one when you don't remember even the question or if you answered the right question. All right, so is it my turn to answer that question?
Yeah, you answer it. You answer
Bro,
it.
y'all answered my question, so I don't need to answer it, man. I'm done. I'm gonna move on. So, man, no, my answer changed so many times since you said that. But look, love. How is love expressed within the Brotherhood of NA? Well, man, it's expressed through man. So first off, love is my foundation, man. I was thrown that love, man. I got in here and y'all love me uncomfortably until I got my ass off the pavement and was able to at least look somebody in the eye and say I love you back. You know, it really struck me when I would go to a meeting one day and they would tell me they love me, and then I would come back that next day after having been there ever, and they'd be like, bro, I love you, Andrew, good to see you, love you. And it would really rack my brain because I didn't have anything to offer those people, and I didn't know what the fellowship was at that point. So I'm just going through trying to survive at this point, and these people are like, it seemed like they were extremely invested in the fact that I was there that next day. And even something as small as that when you're coming out of addiction, man, is so important. First, like there's so many little points that you hit when you're coming out of this thing that are so important looking back at it, that when you push through, that you could have easily given up, right? And I could have maybe not gone to that meeting again because I didn't want to feel uncomfortable or feel like I had to say something or see somebody again. And you push through those little times. And then when you get to the other side of that, man, and you feel this is real, man. This is so real. This is not fake shit that we're giving out here. We hold each other up in this program. You know, I called Mikey because I knew he needed to be on this podcast today, man. Man, I've been praying about it. I knew this dude needed to be on this podcast today for more reasons than we can even know right now. Like I didn't even have to question it. I didn't force the man to come on here, but I called him and I said, "Look, man, this is what we're doing at this time." And he was like, "I think I can do that." And I'm seeing it in his face that he's coming out of it already a little bit because he's not wrapped up in his head, man. And that's that. You talk about unconditional love, man. It's not always loud. You know, sometimes it's the silent presence of just knowing that you got somebody there for you, man. You know, knowing that you don't have to worry about when I'm coming at you with something, Mikey, you don't have to worry about the angle I'm coming at you with. You don't have to worry about that. You know, coming into the conversation, you can answer my phone call because why? Because I love you, man. And whatever we're about to talk about, now, if you think I'm coming at you sideways, that's something we'll have to talk about. But know that anything I'm saying to you is coming from a place of unconditional love and how I think that I can these words can help you better your life. Genuinely. And so when I'm coming from that place, man, my heart is open. You know, my heart is open and it can receive and it can give it out and you can feel that shit, man. I don't have to press that on you. I don't have to press that on you. You have to almost get it off of you, right? Like it's there. It's there. Like you can walk around it, you can walk over it, you can burn it down and walk through it, whatever you need to do, but it's gonna be there because the unconditional love is my part, right? It's my part. There's nothing you can do, Milan and Mikey, about the fact that I fucking love you guys, man. Y'all can turn into an alien right now, and there's nothing you can do about the fact that I love you guys. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do.
I can love you back.
It's so fucking powerful. And then there's literally nothing you can do about it. It's like one of those things where like, I love you, and boo boo. There's nothing you can do about it. But I do, man. And we were all born from love. Love is the most powerful spiritual principle in this program, hands down. It is the most powerful drug in the world. Try it. And it's the most powerful word in the world. Let's go. There's not a more powerful word in the world than love that carries more weight than love, man. And love, so lean into love, man. If you don't know what it is, whatever that uncomfortable feeling that gets you all like butterfly-ish or whatever, just lean into that, man. Because you were born from that. You know, you were made from that. And so you know, we keep each other accountable. You know, it's not about riding our wave anymore, Mikey, about riding like the cool guy wave, man. This is about keeping us alive today. We could be cool as shit, man, but you ain't cool for anybody. You're not impressing anybody in that casket, man. You're not impressing anybody. You know, so I don't care what you got to get out here. Get the love going on, and there's nothing more contagious than love, man. I mean, love is needed. It's necessary. It's what it ends with. It's what it starts with. And I love you guys to death, man. And we'll pass that. Thank you.
Boom. You know, I learned an interesting thing recently, and it's like every time something hurts, right? Like right now you're hurting, Mikey, right? That kind of like instinctive reaction is to close your heart a little bit to protect it. But every little bit that closes your heart only decreases the flow of love through your own heart. And the only way to open it back up is to release that pain, but it actually hurts again to release that pain, which is why most people become more and more closed off because they don't want to feel that pain again in the releasing of it. And I found that to be a really interesting fact. Okay, so I've got a question here for you, Mikey. How has trust issues held you back in your relationships, and how has this changed with working the steps?
How has trust? Well, that's pretty easy because I come equipped with a lot of trust issues, and check it out, right? You guys know
Me too.
You guys know I like to be vulnerable. So like directly related to my parents' suicides, like I come with these real life abandonment issues, right? And sometimes, man, in the beginning, and even for some time after the beginning, it was really hard for me to open up. And I'm not going to answer this question the way I want to because it's one of my questions, and I'll make it make sense in a few minutes. But I needed to learn to be open, honest, vulnerable, and all those things, because when I let those trust issues down, man, and I started to let people in, when I truly started to let people in, man, I started to realize the we part of this stuff, right? Because for a long time, man, I couldn't trust you because I didn't know what angle you were playing. I didn't know what you really wanted from me. I was used to being that chameleon too. So I was like, all right, what is this motherfucker trying to do? How are you trying to get in this today? Um, when I got to the rooms when I got involved in fellowship, man, and I find the people that are here for the right reason, right? Because I say this all the time, right, man? Like this love thing is really powerful, but at the end of the day, some people are not who they say they are in these rooms, and there's some slimy, snaky, just people, man, and that's just life, right? It's not that's
Facts.
not to make a knock on anybody, but not everybody is here in these rooms for the right reason, right? And I know today, for me, I'm here to truly try and change my life, try and change my attitudes, try and change my thought processes, because a lot of the times my thought processes lead to that behavior, right? Because I'll get locked, loaded on a feeling, and I don't know if you gentlemen can identify with that, but you get something locked into your brain, and all of a sudden, here, fuck the blame thrower. Here comes my machine gun of just you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you, right? And that
Yep.
latching out and all that stuff. Um, and learning to trust other people, man, that was really, really hard for me in the beginning because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was really happening. And then you talk about step work, right? Steps one, two, and three were huge to the part of allowing people to trust me, man. Because in step one, I had to admit that I was powerless, right? And that took a lot too, because I had to admit to myself. Because when I got here and y'all were telling me this thing was a disease, I was like, I don't got no fucking disease. What are you talking about? I just like to get high. And I found out that it's much more than the drugs, right? And I got to finally admit that. And then step two, coming to believe that a power greater than myself, right? And this is the switch it moment for the trust piece, right? I say this all the time. You fellas have probably heard me say this. I was willing to believe that a fat man was coming down the chimney for the first 10 years of my life, no questions asked, trusting that regardless. And I had to learn to turn that into this loving, caring power that's greater than me, and I had to learn to trust that. And once I finally started to invest in that relationship, now we can turn around and invest into the human side of this, right? Because I already had started doing that a little bit with my sponsor. And then now I get to open it up to this broader thing. And then step three is just making a decision, man. That's it. I got to make that on a daily basis. And check it out, man. Even if I start to trust people and I get burned, that doesn't deter me anymore, man. That doesn't deter me. Why? Because I learned in this process that I'm a human being and I'm gonna make mistakes. So chances are other people are too. We are addicts, right? Like we are fallible human beings. First and foremost, we're a human being, right? We just suffer from an affliction. And I love that Andrew's sponsor, and Andrew's been saying this for the past couple days, right? Like we meet each other as if we are survivors of the same near fatal catastrophe, right? Y'all are my brothers, man. Y'all are my brothers. We might have different stories, but the feelings and the degradation and all of that stuff, and just the negativity that comes with active using, y'all get me, man. Y'all get me. And learning to trust was a process in and of itself. And you know, that brings me to the part of stick with the winners, but also don't be judgy, right? We're not judgy around here, but stick with the winners. So like I have to use that little bit of discernment and today, man, like I no longer have to be worried about being burned because it's okay, man. I'm still going to be the same person, right? I'm still going to be the same person. What is it, Andrew? Serenity comes when you trade
Expectations for acceptance.
expectations with acceptance. And
Yes, sir.
Acceptance.
Yes,
that's it right
sir.
there, boys. That is it right there.
Yes, sir. Love it.
Drop the
Love you.
Mikey. Drop the Mikey.
Drop the
So,
Mikey
Andrew, how
dropper.
has trust issues held you back in your relationship, and how has this changed with working the steps?
Yeah. I have major trust issues. With the relationship that I'm in right now, God, step work has helped me out tenfold, guys. I'm able to know that I have a trust. You know, that's the first part of this step work. It actually lets you know and identify that you have a trust issue, and then it allows me to work on that in a systematic way. And so now going into this relationship I'm in now, you know, when we started talking, when it started getting serious, you know, when you get to that, it's like the bargaining table and you start talking about the real gritty shit. And it's like, you know, I knew trusting another individual to that capacity is probably the number one problem of mine. I don't think
Me
there's a
too,
bigger
brother.
issue for me, you know, being able to fully trust somebody unconditionally, not just letting them love you and love you, but I'm talking about that other person, that relationship. And so I let it be known that that was my major hurdle, you know, and so she knew going into this that she was going to have to be real soft with that part of that for me. And it's a beautiful thing, man. It's beautiful how this whole thing kind of works out, man. I mean, you know, as you can see, man, I mean, like it's gotten crazy, you know what I mean? It's gotten really good, and I'm cool with everything, but it had to get real uncomfortable before it got real cool, you know. So it's like it's one of those things that when I let that be known, like when it comes to something that I'm starting to have a trust issue with, and I don't even notice it, she'll just like nudge me like, hey man, like this is what I see you kind of going down that rabbit hole again. And it comes back to what I always say, man. Like if somebody that you love and that loves you comes to you and hits you like you're, look bro, I see you going a little sideways here, you've got to back up and you've got to pause and revisit that. You've got to take that into consideration and not just let it go. And that's where the discernment piece comes in. I got to understand who that is in my life that I give that spiritual consent to whip my ass. Right? There's a small list of people that I don't give a fuck what they say to me. I'm gonna take them at their word, and I'm gonna process that, and I'm gonna come back at them because it's important. Those people are that important to me. The other ones, I gotta let those people go. You know, keep them there, but I can't exhaust and put any time or effort into it. You know, time. We're throwing that time out there, man. That's the only, you know, that's the only currency we use without knowing our final balance. We throw that time out there constantly. You know, there was an addict last night that you know, naming no names, but was on the phone with some person that was wrapped up in active addiction for two hours last night, kept her up all night, and she's reeling today from it. And we're all looking at each other like, what, like, why would you spend your time with somebody who ended up coming on camera like doing drugs? Like it was just a like, why would you spend your time doing that 2 hours from 1 to 3 in the morning talking to a crackhead? We're on a podcast. I can say it. I can say whatever I want. You know, I can say the dude came on camera at the end is like smoking crack in front of this girl, and it's like you were on like you thought that that person could be helped, and I realized who it was. It's just crazy. It's wild where we choose to pick and choose where to put our time. Where time is we don't get time back, man. Time is love too. You know what I mean? If you give somebody your time, that's you love somebody. If you're giving them your time, man. So I don't know how I got off onto that, but you got to discern your time. You got to understand where you're putting your time, because time is money. In terms of this recovery process, time is recovery, man. So I love you guys.
I love you guys, man.
Fucking funny.
Okay, how has trust issues held you back in your relationships, and how has this changed with working with the steps? Man, I listened to some good speaker tapes the other day. Little speaker tape. I kind of love them a lot. And this guy did like it was at this men's retreat, so it was kind of cool because it was a lot of bro talk. Like I was like, whoa, he's saying that for a lady, and then I realized, oh, it's a men's retreat, and well, dude,
That's not a lady.
I swear, I'll send you the link, and you'll be like, whoa, I ain't seen no meeting like this before. But anyway. A lot of it is about inventories, and this guy does like not only the regular inventory, but he does like a principles inventory. He does like other layers of inventory, and so in his journeys, like he does this like he does it with a lot of people. Like one of his things is that he goes deep and deep and deep on these inventories. And I never had it kind of explained like this, but one of the things he found, like one of the things he would say inside his head is like, if you really knew me, you wouldn't like me. And so like, and that came up in like as lies in the inventory, like lies you tell yourself. Because when you are telling yourself lies and living by that, it's actually an act of selfishness. And the reason it's an act of selfishness is because it doesn't give anybody around you a chance to actually have like a real honest interaction with you. Like you've robbed them of reality by filtering it before you even give it a chance to be true. And like and so, when he said that though, it hit me. I'm like, yeah, that's something I tell myself, you know, like if people really knew me, they wouldn't like me. And so then it's like, man, that's a trust issue right there. I don't trust you to have acceptance for me, but I'm selfishly acting out on it. And it happens all the time. And that's part of trying to pull out of being a people pleaser, and actually being like, whoa, like I need to give people the opportunity to have acceptance, just like I need the opportunity to have acceptance. And and so, you know, um, I wouldn't even have this awareness right now if I wasn't on the journey of these steps and trying to learn. Like the steps have given me an awareness, if not changes in my life, but they've given me goals and things, that I'd like to aspire to be, and every day there's something else that I'm like, well, okay, that's okay. Like I'm not on well, there was that being happy, being wrong conversation I had the other day with some people, and man, I've never been at a point where I'm happier being wrong in my life, because as long as you're showing me another way, like you're not just like wrong, wrong, but you're like, hey, you're wrong because it's like this. I'm like, whoa, that's fucking awesome. I'm happy to go like this, but that's happening to me more and more all the time in this program. And it's through my brotherhood that I'm having the opportunity to learn these things, and happens with sisterhood too. But, who's kidding who? We have more boys on the show than girls. Like, that's just a fact of.
Man, woman hater club.
We're trying,
No,
guys. We're trying.
no. I tried to balance it out. And, in fact, I actually asked Brandy yesterday. I said, Brandy, round up two of your friends. I'll give you my passcodes. You guys can have a show without me called Sisterhood. So I'm an equal opportunity man here.
Nice.
I'm like no man should be sitting in on sisterhood time. Just like right now, we don't have like Brandy sitting in the corner, even though she's a sister and I love her. But this is bro time, and that'll be girl time.
That's right.
I just thought it'd be cool. I thought it'd be nice to have the balance in this universe of that
Love
and
it.
the opportunity for it. But like trust has been a big thing, man. I've been hurt. Like I remember, like, man, and I don't think I'm still carrying the resentment, but my first times having like a girlfriend stolen was always by my best friend. You know, my first time having been embarrassed by lies told about me was by friends. Like that has created trust issues in my life, and you know, um, I just am trying now to start with, love and trust with people, because I would rather, you break my trust once, even if it's a catastrophic one, then me walk around the world distrustful.
Yeah.
Because that's just a really not fun place to be. I've been there and I don't like that. I don't want that to be me in the future. And I'm going to leave that one there, and I'm going to let
Love that.
Mikey ask Andrew a question, because
Mikey,
guess who loves you too? Guess
You.
who loves you too?
Bro,
Right,
I
well-
love you, Milan. You are insane, and I love you so much for it. I couldn't make you up. If I tried to drum you up in my imagination, I couldn't make you.
I'm a
I couldn't
cartoon
make you.
character.
You are the best, man. You are so awesome, man. You are amazing. Got the sounds and the music and everything to come with it, man. You're a one-man
I'm
band.
a cartoon character.
I am Magic Milan and the mushrooms.
When he said that, I could literally see him forming into like a cartoon character right then. I don't know if you did that to Mike. I could just see him just go. Bloop, 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 bloop. I'm a cartoon character.
I went Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yes, that's kind of what I was thinking, man. Yes. That's why you and I were born in the same place at the same time, man. It's crazy.
Oh, so I'm gonna ask the question because I feel like this is the perfect question to kind of could have gone either way. This one before, this one after. How has sponsorship deepened your experience with Brotherhood?
Ooh, I love that we're starting to bring sponsorship into these discussions. Say that one more time. That was a great question, Mikey. You're coming up with some bangers today.
I had a friend help me. He did well. How has sponsorship deepened your experience with Brotherhood?
Oh, so sponsorship has really, really, really tightened everything up for me, man. When I got in here, I didn't know what sponsorship was. Microwave the story. I thought it was a money grab, and I realized that it was this mentorship kind of thing going on, and I shied away from it for a long time. But when I did finally get into it, sponsorship really, really, when I was choosing a sponsor, I wanted to choose somebody that I wanted to be like. I wanted to choose somebody that had everything in this recovery game that I wanted. And I wanted to emulate myself a lot after them, and I went through a couple sponsors where it just didn't work out, and I had to go through those to get the one that I have now. And Mikey, you know the one that I have now, bro. I can't even put into words how much I love that man. I literally, the only thing that comes to mind is tears. Like, I just want to cry thinking about the dude, man. Because he's so special, such an amazing individual. Has really taught me everything. Be quiet, Matcha.
It's Chancho.
Chanchi Chanchas.
He's trying to bite your butt. He's like, I'm gonna bite your butt.
This man, Sean, has taught me everything, man, in terms of love and prayer and love for the next human being and doing the right thing. And look, I'm gonna say this right now. You cannot skip the struggle and expect the crown. You with me? You cannot skip the struggle and expect to be the king of your palace, man. I'm not talking about being the king of the world. I'm talking about just being the king of you not going back out and being an idiot. You know what I mean? So you got to get so it's the tough shit that we get through, remaining humble. Sean has taught me to be humble, man. Humility, man. There was a couple times where I asked him for help and I felt embarrassed, and he would break it down. He'd be like, bro, you understand, you had a plan, it failed. You had a backup plan, it failed, and you needed help, and you didn't shy away. You called me. He's like, you called me and asked for help, and what do? We got to take care of. He's like, bro, I'm so fucking proud of you for doing that. Like, do you understand what you just did right there? You remained humble. You took humility and you put it into life form. And you practice humility, and like he was like, it taught me something. You kept me alive today, and he spun the whole thing on like I helped him in that moment, and it's just a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing if you live by this program, by these principles, and you get a sponsor that acts the way you want to act, and has the talk that you want to talk, and walks the way that you want to walk. Make sure that the shoes match the walk. You know, make sure the audio matches the visual. Because if the audio is off, you know, you got the mouth bone going over here, and the audio is going, you know, that's a little. You don't want to sit there for that whole movie. That's a weird movie. It's a weird movie. You're not going to get much of that movie, you know. What? What? Oh,
he, he went all Asian.
What are you saying there, Andrew? Is there something wrong
I
with
laugh
my
more
face moving?
when I rewatch these. I laugh more because it's like when I'm talking, I'll be to see all that shit that you just laughed about, and I'll be watching him, and I literally crack up. I have to like pause it and rewind it because we get into some laughing matches on these, man. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny. So
just
look,
remember that moment and just think of Roger Rabbit.
yes. Oh God, I can already see it. So look, man, I want to round this back to like share. Look, people, God speaks through people. I knew this a long time ago. My God speaks through people. I hear messages through the words of y'all, and so a lot of times my message comes in the form of Mikey's voice. Sometimes it comes in Milan's voice, maybe in a song that Milan wrote. You know, or you know, Miss Brandy's talking to me about how the basic text is written for her by her. Whatever it is, my God speaks through people, and sharing is an energy of the heart, right? So we come to hear me share. It's an energy of the heart. It all translates to love for me, you know, and everything's not all smiles here, but it's real and it's sacred. So love you guys, man. Love you. I guess I'm done.
We'll be back, brother. Milan, how has sponsorship deepened your experience with Brotherhood?
Well, it hit me right in the belly at one point. I think it was like late October, where I realized that without sponsorship, this program would not even be alive right now. If people just had to look at a book and repeat the steps, you know, like from what their interpretation of them was, ooh boy, I could see that going south real quick. Kind of like that's a game where you whisper something in someone's ear, and by the end of the circle, it's something different. In about 10 years, there would be so little recovery left in recovery. It would be like, it would be just like the self-centered step center. And, but, you know, so I feel that sponsorship has saved my life. And it is through that continued act of service and brotherhood, you know, like it has made me believe in the need for each other. You know, like there's a lot of years where I was just like, I don't need anybody. Like I couldn't depend on anybody, so why would I need them? And relying on anybody was just always disappointment. And you know, I myself too have had one sponsor, and you know, I've still got a good relationship with him. It just wasn't the right sponsor for me. His teaching style and my learning style just weren't compatible in the long run. And I still learned a lot from him. But when it came time for the step work, I realized I can't do this, and it made me kind of you know, find the dumbest sponsor ever for 2 months. That was me. And I like,
Last person you got high with.
I know, like I was like not so great. But my new sponsor, well, not so new now. I mean, um, I love him. Like my journey with him is amazing, and kind of the further I get into my program, the more we actually kind of become like brothers. You know, like it's kind of like for me, when I started playing music, a lot of my friends had already started playing music, and they were much more advanced than me. And there was a certain amount of like idolization that went along at that point, because I was just like, wow, how can they be so amazing? And in some ways, that occurs, I think, with a lot of people for sponsorship. They're like, whoa, this person has their shit together. They know the steps. They're like living a life I want. And I think that happens with sponsorship a lot. But you know, if the real evolution in the principles and the program starts getting applied, I think that turns into a brotherhood as much as a mentor menteeship. You know, at least for me, it has. And it's wonderful because I now have been gifted to have a guy that I have literally probably the most philosophical conversations in my life, and I love just diving deep with him. And and sometimes the call just starts with, "Hey, I love you," and then all of a sudden we're just like off in some journey, and yeah, so it's and then as a sponsor, a couple of my sponsees are like my best friends. We talk, and I really feel that it's a gift to be able to offer that service to them. So yeah, sponsorship and brotherhood, man, they're hand in hand.
Beautiful.
Mikey, drop the
Up to you to
mic.
answer that question. Drop the micer.
Well, how sponsorship deepened my experience with Brotherhood, and this is why I was kind of trying to tiptoe a little bit around the other answer because it taught me everything. It taught me everything. For me, man, like I said, I come with these abandonment issues, and I like what you fellas had to say too, because when I got here, man, and they told me to get a sponsor, I thought I was getting a life coach. I thought I was getting a financial advisor. I thought I was getting a relationship advisor. I thought I was
Bank.
I thought I was basically getting like a CO for life because I'm really good under structure. I thrive really well when I'm told what to do, when to do, how to do it, and where to do it. Right? I excel in that environment. And then I found out it was just nothing more than somebody that's going to guide me through the 12 steps. And I was taught that listen, just listen for a sponsor. And I love that Andrew said, like, make sure their feet match their mouth because, um, I had to go through a couple sponsors too, right? I had to go through some things because, my first sponsor that I got, God rest his soul, he went back out and passed away to this disease. But I asked him to sponsor me because he was funny. I asked him to sponsor me because he would say all these catchy things. And you know, at least for me, Randy showed me what the fellowship part of this thing can really be. And when I actually got a sponsor and started working steps, the first time that I actually gave it a really good go at things, my sponsor taught me about being vulnerable. I had to, you know, uh, my sponsor asked me, well, he's not my sponsor anymore, but I love him. He's still in my network. His name is Dalian. He told
I
me
love.
he told me, he hit me with the call me every day for 30 days, right? And I'm like, oh, here we fucking go. I heard about this before, like, whatever. And the part I love most about that is like, right? He taught me that I needed to learn to build a working relationship with another man because for my entire life, the only person that I ever had any type of real relationship outside of my brother, and we're talking like a father figure here, uh, was my father, right? And he taught me the importance of getting into that regular habit of calling my sponsor, building that working relationship, because it's not always about calling you on the bad days, right? It's not always about calling my sponsor and dumping my problems because, you know, Milan, you brought it up, and there's a reason why they say sponsorship is the heartbeat of the program because I couldn't do this. I couldn't bring myself through the steps. Like Andrew said, man, I'll be working the steps with the biggest fool ever, the last person that I got high with. And through learning to trust another human being, right? Because that was the first big test of trust for me was when I was going to do step work, and I'll never forget this. And I share this every time I talk about sponsorship. I remember walking down a hallway at 5 o'clock in the morning because Dalian likes to be up at the ass crack of fucking dawn to do step work. And it was like 5:15 in the morning. I'm walking down the hallway and I'm going to my sponsor's house to actually process the first step that I ever did. And I remember being so uncomfortable. And I remember my skin crawling. And I remember vividly the voice in my brain telling me to run, run, run. I was so uncomfortable. And I remember knocking on that door And I remember thinking, please don't answer the door. Maybe I'm too early. Maybe he overslept. Like, don't answer the door. Well, he fucking answered that door. And I sat down at his table. And even in the first 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever it was, I still remember having my step work open in front of me. I'm looking at Dalian across the table, and I still remember that uncomfortable feeling. And I know today that was my disease trying to get me the fuck out of there because it didn't want me to learn some things. And you know what I learned in that first few hours of actually processing that first step, man, was to fully trust another human being, because I started to open up with Dalian about some stuff that like I've never opened up with other men in my life, not even my father, right? And I remember thinking at the time Dalian had, I want to say Dalian had like 16 or 17 years. He's got like 25 now. But I remember thinking in my brain, like, how is this dude gonna relate to me? And you know what that man did for me? He leveled the playing field, right? And he started to open up about his step work. And right, this is how sick I am, boys. This is how sick I am, right? I'm not a first time winner in this process, right? I have a few white key tags. I've been blessed to be able to come back from relapses, and I remember Dalian telling me that he's never relapsed, and my brain automatically was like, "What are we going to relate to this dude about? Like he has no idea what it's like to relapse." What kind of sick motherfucking pup am I really? Why would I not want to learn from the man that saw no reason to go
That's some
back out
wild
and use,
thinking.
Disease is heavy,
right?
boy.
And why can I not? And in that first few hours, man, and I'll never forget my feeling leaving that apartment, because I didn't run. I sat there and I processed my first step. And I remember that feeling driving home later on, early in that afternoon, and just the spiritual high that I had, spiritual awakening, if you will. And you know, I learned in that first day of really opening up and doing step work that like I can fully trust another man, right? And I carry that outside into relationships today. And just like I was taught to watch for my sponsor, and if he has things that I want, and check it out. My sponsor today, I asked him to sponsor me because that man has a piece about him that I want. That man just has a piece about him that I want, and I get to do that in my other relationships too. Let's not be judgy, but stick with the winners. I get to watch other people and listen and watch and see if their feet match what their mouth is saying. And that's important, man, because through that one first relationship, that real relationship, that trust spawns a lot of different relationships, and it allows me to just kind of be present and be open and have these relationships that normally I would have never had. I just would have never had. But yeah, sponsorship was huge. It was an integral part for me, because we talk about unconditional love, but in the relationship area, I think trust is one of the biggest things. Trust is one of the biggest things, because without trust, like, what do I really have, right?
Nothing.
And that's the beautiful part of the other ones that follow, right? That love and that open-mindedness and that humility, because then I can allow people to make mistakes, and I don't got to beat them up just as worse as I would beat myself up. But yeah, man, sponsorship is huge to be able to develop relationship with other people, because in that first, like I said, man, that first day of actually doing step work opened up my eyes up to a world of other recovering addicts that like, they just want what's best for me. Got to find my people, man. Got to find my tribe.
Find your new tribe, man.
You got two of them right here that love you.
Yeah,
Boom,
you found
boom,
your tribe,
boom.
bro.
Okay, Andrew, you got a question?
Oh, yes, it's my turn. Yes. So we'll pass this to you, Mr. Milan. So what does it mean to truly be there for someone else in recovery, especially when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable for you?
It means to not judge, but to listen at times where people need it. Sometimes it means being honest with them. You know, like I've had some friends where I won't say it until they ask, but when they ask, you know, what I think is going on, Sometimes it's being honest about, something that I feel like they're not committing to in the program. Like I'm okay with telling somebody if they ask, so what's wrong? And oh gosh, can you repeat the question? I got lost in my answer already.
Absolutely. What does it mean to truly? What does it mean to truly be there for someone else in recovery, especially when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable for you?
Answering that phone when you're lying in bed, because that person never calls at that time. Making time in a busy day for a friend is hurting. Following up with someone who, when you were last talking to, was hurting. Like that sometimes, man, just being like, even sometimes just, hey, man, I love you. But like, just like that simple little, hey, by the way, P.S., man, you're loved by someone. That's a day changer. That's a day changer. And yeah, for me, it's making sure that it's part of my day. Making sure that part of my day is in the service of really making sure other people are feeling good instead of just myself anymore. Because I spent a long time trying to make myself feel good.
Yep.
Yeah.
It didn't work. Right.
Yeah. I'm going to
That's
leave
beautiful.
that one there.
That's
I feel like, yeah, I love you guys though.
I
Like,
love you
a
more.
lot
I
lately.
love
It's
you
like,
more, man. Even just that simple act of saying I love you, it's kind of like a little hug. It's like a little pap, little hey, man, just in case you didn't know. And like you say at the end of all your shares, most of the time, Mikey, you say, look, if anybody hadn't told you they love you today, well, I don't care, or if she told you this, I love you, and there's nothing you can really do about it, So, all right, I'm going to ask you, Mikey, you ready? So what does it mean to truly be there for someone else in recovery, especially when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable for you?
Well, I can tell you that 99.9% of my shares I ended with, if nobody's told you they
Yes,
love
you
you,
do.
that I love you.
You do.
Because it's important. It's important, right? And what does it mean when it's to show up for somebody when it's inconvenient for me or something of the likes, right? That's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing because it allows me to get out of my motherfucking self, right? Even when it's inconvenient, right? Because like, check it out, man. Right, this love thing we talk about, that shit is a practiced spiritual principle for me. I am not wired to love, especially love unconditionally. So sometimes, man, instead of hitting the fuck you button, I got to pick up the phone, right? Because a lot of times, man, this they talk about, I'm just going to go back to sponsorship. They talk about that being a two-way street, right? And every relationship that I have is a two-way street. And I said this earlier in the podcast. It's important that I maintain these relationships and these connections. So if I feel like it's a inconvenience to me or anything, like, check it out, because there's times when I'm busy and I just can't answer the phone, but you're gonna get a text back from me, right? But if I'm, like Milan just said, if I'm laying in bed and I see the phone ring and I'm like, oh, motherfucker. And like, check it out, man. I'm honest. So there's times where, I was just going through this issue with the job I was just at, working 6 days a week, 11 to 12-hour days. And like, there's another addict that's in my life who I built
Love you, girl.
I built a different relationship with. And I kind of started to act out and lash out because like I was fucking stressed and I didn't have time and I felt like this person was kind of smothering me. And it was really hard for me to practice those spiritual principles in those moments because, like, again, here I am going through my shit, and like all of a sudden, nobody else's shit matters because, like, you don't understand. You just don't understand what I'm going through, and God saw fit to remove me from that situation. I'm still kind of feeling funky over it, but I get to see the way I was showing up, not only in recovery, but in life. And I get to see just how much one thing affected me. And I get to see, like we talk about that balancing act on that plate, right? I got to see how badly my plate got tilted. And I didn't even have the time to try and fix it, right? And that's not to anybody else's fault, other than just this thing we call life. And when that smoke kind of cleared, man, I kind of see where I was falling short, and like I don't even know, I don't even have the words to begin to try and explain to this other person that, like, for lack of a better term, I'm fucking sorry, right? Because there's that little bit of pride, there's that little bit of ego, there's that little bit of all these things, and that's why when I get to show up for somebody, even when it's not convenient for me, um, I just get to practice these principles, and it allows me to remove Mikey from the situation, as long as I allow it to, because I'll fuck up a wet dream, boys. So it's something that I need to constantly be aware of and be alert of, because it's important that, like, even for me, man, it's important that my feet match my mouth. But again, I'm a human being, I'm fallible, I'm gonna fall short. But when I get to be there for other people, I get to start to practice these spiritual principles, even against my will sometimes, because who knows, man, I might be going through it, and somebody calls me and they get me the fuck out of my head. I literally just turned my back to the clock and I looked at the time and I was like, holy shit, this has been an entire hour and change that I haven't thought about this fucking shit that's been running through my brain. I'm gonna open up a little bit about it, right? Milan, I don't know if you know, but I started that new job, and they were fucking whooping my ass thoroughly, right? And God saw fit to remove that job from my life. I'm pissed off because it wasn't on my terms, but the fact of the matter is it's still kind of humiliating, and I struggle turning my will over in the area of finances. I struggle so bad, and here I am in this place where I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And
You're going to pray for the finances you don't have right
yeah,
now.
well,
Dude, it's changed my financial anxiety like crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Number one tip 2025. Pray for what you
yeah,
don't have. Gratitude for what you don't have.
and
Yes.
that's where, for me, man, going through this in this situation right now and seeing exactly the way it changes my mind frame, because Andrew will tell you, man, I've been kind of backing off. I've been kind of backing off, and I've been slowly going into that isolation mode. And I've been getting really fucking depressed lately. Like, my sleep pattern has completely changed. I didn't fall asleep until 7 o'clock this morning. You know what my happy ass was doing? Laying in bed, staring at the fucking ceiling like I used to do in active using, replaying every single fucking decision I've made in the past fucking 32 years of my life. And I'm 40, but whatever. Um, that's
Fuck
where the
those
fuck
other
I'm
eight.
at right now. That's where I'm at right now. And I'm blessed that, like, those people, even if it might be an inconvenience for them, they continue to pick up the phone. And if they don't check it out, I wish I can show you just how many swipes I have to go through in my phone book of people that are in recovery. I wish I could just show you how many finger flips I got to go through just to get through the ends, just to get through the ends.
Get
And
fingeritis.
yeah, man, I'm grateful. I'm fucking so happy that you guys had me on this podcast today, and it's definitely gotten me out of my brain for a good little while. And I appreciate the fuck out of both of you gentlemen. I love you very much. Um, yeah, man, I gotta fucking stay out of my own brain a lot of the time.
Mikey, I think you just took the first deep breath of the day. I think I just saw. I think you were just doing it and you went,
Mikey has landed.
and you literally took that first breath, and it's, I'm noticing, I see these things, man. And so this right here is what we do to be for each other. This is what we do. But we don't have to even explain this. The fact that this all happened organically, or one of our words, right? That organic word. This thing happened organically as it needed to happen. And I knew you needed this, man. You know what I mean? I knew you needed this. We needed to help you shoulder this thing right now. That's what we're here for. That's what brotherhood is for, man. No matter if it's convenient, uncomfortable, like I said in that question, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when I'm helping another addict, especially a brother of mine that I really do have another level of respect and love for. I don't care what time it is. I don't care where I'm at. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm not tired. I'm not worn out. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? And I can't explain that. It's just, man, I'll be in a parking lot with somebody all night if I have to, man. I've done it before. And it's about being there and trying to help somebody through that struggle and letting them realize that everything you've done up until this point, all that shit that you've gone through, man, it was for a reason, and it's what got you here, and you should be grateful to be here, because a lot of people don't ever find their way here. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't even find their way here, and it's about helping them through their problems, or at least being there, sitting next to them while they're going through those problems. It's not about we can't do the work for them, but you can help them through it, right? And a lot of times people are running from those problems. Like if you're running from your problems, all those problems you're running from, that's a war. That's a race you're not going to win, right, Mikey? You're not going to win that race. Them problems are going to catch up to you eventually, right? And you got to understand, like, the very thing that you're most afraid about is the thing that's going to set you free. That thing that you're most afraid of right now, that thing that's been sitting up in there for 10 years that you've been worrying, festering on, that shit is going to set you free, man. It's that very thing. If you start making efforts to get that thing taken care of, it will set you free, man. It will set you free. Turbulence is the price we pay for flying high, Mikey. There's one of my. Come on now, come on. I had to come at you with a couple zingers. I always throw one or two of them in it. But that's one of my zingers for the day. Is turbulence is the price you pay for flying high, man. You know what I mean? And then it's another one. Maybe you're asking for a rose when God has written for you to have the whole garden. Don't ask for the rose when you got the whole when the whole garden is being planted for you. What you worry about that damn rose for? So, yeah, man. And I've got a few more, but I'm gonna leave them till in just a little bit. But yeah, I don't even know why I went on to that. I think I'm done. I think. Did I just start? I don't even know when I started. I have no idea how long I went.
I think that was good. Okay. I don't know. Sometimes we go on journeys. Okay. Mikey, I got a question for you. In the presence of Brotherhood, we find mirrors that reflect not only our pain, but also our potential. How has another man's journey helped you believe in your own transformation?
Identification, brother. Identification. There is nothing better than a good old me too in this process. And, it's vital to me that I identify and not compare, because that's what I did in the beginning. And I almost compared my happy ass right out of these rooms, because like I never thought people were going to relate to me on different levels. And, when I can look in the quote unquote mirror and see somebody else in my reflection, man, that's huge. That's huge. Because like through this process, man, I've met quite a few gems in this process. And like I keep my circle really small. I have about 4 to 5 men in my network that I absolutely open up to, and I know that I can tell them anything, and I don't even care about being judged for it. But it's a beautiful thing to be able to identify with somebody so much and find out that you're so alike with another human being, and just realize that, like, I'm fucking right where I need to be. I'm right where I need to be. Right? Because that was something that was missing for a long time for me, was that feeling of belonging to. I was talking about this last night, and I feel like I just want to put my running shoes on right now. I feel like I just want to fucking leave New Jersey. I feel like all this stuff, and there's somebody in this process that kind of reached out to me, and I haven't really been able to speak to him because both of our schedules were absolutely fucking bonkers for a while. And now that I've gotten time to slow things down a little bit, we actually got to have a conversation last night. And there was a lot of me too's in that conversation. And it's a beautiful thing because like I could see that somebody else has been through the same struggles and what did they do to stay clean. And you know, I get to draw from that experience, strength, and hope from somebody else. And it's huge, man. It's huge, especially when I can identify a lot more with the not necessarily the journey, but the feelings and all the things that come with not only active using. I'm talking about being clean with multiple years of recovery and like struggling. It's a beautiful thing that I can connect with other men on this level, and because I get to ask questions. Like, what did you do? I don't know. Did you ever feel like this? You know, what did you do when you felt like that? You know, I don't really ask it generally how long did it take because sometimes, man, it's my turn in the barrel for longer than other people, right? And I try not to use these feelings as a barometer for my recovery because the feelings really don't have anything to do with it. It's my level of serenity. It's my spiritual fitness. It's those things that really matter in recovery. And when something's taken away from that, and another person in this process has experience with it, kind of a good idea for me to kind of ask some questions, right?
People
I
love
get
talking
to
about themselves, don't
utilize.
they?
Was that?
People love talking about themselves, don't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, I get to utilize these other men in this process, not just my sponsor. I get to utilize these other men in this process because, like, you know, sometimes my sponsor can't pick up the phone all the time. And check it out. Sometimes, like, I don't go to my sponsor with everything wholeheartedly, not everything, right? There's some things that I talk to other people, and they don't ever have to reach spons. You know what I mean? They'll probably come up later on in the conversation, but not everything is this fucking house burning down huge fucking 5 alarm fire today. Some things are, but not everything is. And it's important when I get to see myself in other people because it's either a red light indicator that like, hey, you might want to change some shit, or it's a fucking green light indicator for me to go ask like, hey, what'd you do? How were you feeling? Did you feel like this? You know, it's a beautiful part because that allows me to be um outside of myself and I get to hear somebody else and what they did to stay clean through it. Because that's the goal for this thing, right? That's the goal for this thing is to not pick up no matter what. I can make a million mistakes throughout the day, but the second I pick up, man, right? I heard it put like this, you know, I can have 10 problems on my plate right now. The second I put a substance in my body, I'm going to have the 11th problem, and I no longer have the ability to deal with the first 10. And it's huge, man. I just gotta not fucking stay out of my way. And a lot easier said than done sometimes because this process isn't a cookie cutter process. But I get to rely on gentlemen like you in my life, and I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Love you, man.
Love you,
bro.
Mikey.
I'll take that question.
Yeah, okay. In the presence of brotherhood, we find mirrors that reflect not only our pain, but also our potential. How has another man's journey helped you believe in your own transformation?
Wow, I didn't hear that. I was my computer was like freezing up when you asked it the first time, so I didn't hear that question the first time. So, ask me one more time because I want to hear it one more time.
Yeah. In the presence of brotherhood, we find mirrors that reflect not only our pain, but also our potential. How has another man's journey helped you believe in your own transformation?
Wow, that's a beautiful question. You know, when I came in here and I started seeing people that acted the way I wanted to act, um, you know, it's almost like, you know, act as if for a little while. And I feel like if you, you know, fake it, you know, a lot of people don't like that fake it till you make it saying, but I kind of do. I've spun it around to like, I mean, if you fake it till you make it, if you act as if long enough, it'll become reality. Like if every day you act like an asshole, you're gonna be an asshole eventually. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna, it's just gonna happen. Like that's
or
the
people
brass
are gonna
tacks.
think you are anyway.
Or people are gonna think you are. So whether and that's your own reality is the perception of everybody else's reality about you. Right? You got to understand there's two people. You are two people. It's the person you think you are, and then there's the person that everyone else sees you as. And you never meet the same person twice. Like like you guys, I knew y'all coming into this, but I didn't meet y'all until we got here. Like y'all are new people today than you were yesterday. If you think about that, it's a very complex way to think about things. Like you never meet the same person twice. But I saw people conducting themselves in a way that was attractive to me. Whether I had seen something that I had at one point or something that I've always thought about having in my life as a part of my repertoire, if you will, right? Like we see things that people do and we take on to them and we add them to our bag of tools. And that's where we talk about honest sharing, people sharing their real stuff. Honesty comes into play here. You got to be honest, because you're out here lying. You got people attracted to the way you're doing things, and you're just telling a lie. Then like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? We start having those follow-up conversations with you, and you realize there's no substance there. There's no substance there. And so, but yeah, Mikey, you hit on it, man. Stay clean must come first, bro. When as soon as I use, I don't have a choice. My choices go out the window, and I'm talking about choices to do anything. We talk about we got 100+ spiritual principles. My choice to engage in any of those 100+ spiritual principles is out the fucking door as soon as I use a drug.
Gonzo.
Like done, So I'm so grateful that I wake up every day and I don't have that desire to use drugs and have to feed that beast before I feed Mikey in the morning, right, Mikey? I always hear, look, that saying comes in your voice in my head through God. When that voice comes in and says, I don't have to feed, I'm so grateful I don't have to feed that beast before I feed Andrew in the morning. It comes in the form of your voice. It's how God speaks to me through people, man. That's how God, it's an audio, it's a visual thing. Y'all know I got that photographic memory, so it's audio and it's visual, and I'm matching those things up constantly. And it used to be short-circuited. That whole process was short-circuited, right? It was all wanged out. Now I've got that organized garage where I know where everything's put in bins and it's all labeled and it's proper. I know what where the audio stuff is. I know where the video stuff is. Everything was working the way it's supposed to. And then when something goes wrong with it, I can see that the wire is frayed a little bit. And I can fix it before it becomes an issue in my life or in my recovery. I can see the warning signs now. Why? Because I'm doing step work. And I've surrounded myself with people that don't want to see me in a casket. They're not trying to sell me no drugs. They're trying to transaction my ass to get to where they can borrow my car. Or you know what I mean? Like can I borrow $20? Like and all that shit's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but like if you're in active addiction and you're coming at me like that, bro, I don't got time for it. I know for a fact I'm not going to get up out of this chair, fall over on drugs, and start that whole thing, that whole cycle again, right? I'm not just going to hit my head on drugs and here, I'm high, and here we go. We're going to off to the races again. So I gotta stay that far from it. You know what I mean? I keep that shit away from me and people that are engaged in it. You know what I mean? I do not have time for that shit. Staying clean must come first. I do not have a choice as soon as I use drugs, man. You know what I mean? So, everything you lose creates space for everything that you need. You with me? So everything you lose creates space for everything you need. And, stop allowing what you see to keep you from where you're actually going. Like if you think that there's this big wall in front of you and you can't get through it, that's only what you see. So you can't keep that wall of this drape of like, hey, I'm in a bad mood or I'm feeling bad today, to not allow you to push through that and carry on with the day and get all those other blessings that you need throughout the day, man. Because I'll say this a lot, man, my God's power of love created my blessings for my life and throughout the day. I've got to stay tapped in full circle here, man. Because if I'm just gonna stop by what I see and not hear what's going on the other side of that wall, I'm not gonna go get those blessings that were created for me. I'm not gonna be able to go grab them. I'm not gonna be able to put them into my life. And so for me to do that to myself and limit to myself to not get those because I'm not tapped in, or I'm not surrounding myself with people that can help push me over that audio or visual wall, so to speak, then I'm just going backwards, I'm going backwards. And once I feel myself going backwards, if I don't get off that block, man, I'm going to I'll be down there quick. Mikey, you're in a little rut right now. You got people around you like me, like Milan, like we love the shit out of you. We're going to bang your door down till you answer that door, man. Because we love you, man. Because we love you. Because we know in 3 months when I'm there, you're gonna be doing it for me.
Knock, knock.
So who's there?
Better be Mikey. It better be Mikey. It better be Mikey.
Housekeeping. You want me to fluff your pillow? No, I don't want you to fluff my pillow. Go away. Mikey's not here.
He said, housekeeping, you want me to jerk you off? What kind of a hotel
is this? Jesus. You know what movie we're talking about, Milan? $20 if you say it now.
No, I don't. The Hangover?
He's not American. Well, look, we give him a pass because he's not from America. So.
Oh, okay.
You guys get the same movies we do, right?
I know. I just don't know what you're talking about.
Chris Farley?
You know who Chris Farley is?
Oh, yeah. He's I love him.
You ever seen that movie, Tommy Boy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This movie is.
Fat man in a little coat.
Doesn't hurt right here. Right here.
He's the best physical actor.
But right here, he's like, nah, that looks good. I can't with you guys. Where are we at? What am I doing? What are we doing?
I don't know. Like, you answered my question, so now I need to answer. But are you done?
There we go.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
In the presence of brotherhood, we find mirrors that reflect not only our pain, but also our potential. How has another man's journey helped me believe in my own transformation? Man, I think there's been so many sources of inspiration along with the way on this journey. Every friend inside this program has been a source of inspiration in a different direction. Andrew rolls into town with love and the meaning of life gives life meaning. And I was like, boom, I was inspired. That has helped me believe in the direction of my transformation. Mikey comes into town with his you're like a spiritual ninja. I don't even see you coming, and then you just beheaded the samurai. Drop the mic. And I love it. And think of it man, someone like JJ. Look at the journey that guy's been on.
Man.
JJ, and it's just yo, bro, man, got this business, got employees, got family.
Talk about serenity.
Shit. He's like,
serenity.
I don't even let a heart attack make me miss a podcast.
All right, brother. I'll come in here, Iceman. What's up, Iceman? What's up?
And
shout out JJ.
Part of I think the biggest thing is that seeing that people can change. I didn't think I was going to change. I thought I was just going to use and I was going to die. And then I did, and I was like, whoa. And then, but here we are, and life is changing. And life's changing every day. And I just didn't have that belief in the ability for that to happen for me for a long time. And so every day, every meeting I go to, every podcast I have, every conversation about recovery I have helps me believe in the power of my transformation. Because I'm seeing me be a different me. And how's that happening? Because I'm learning from everybody else. And that's really just something that has, been a real gift of recovery. Because I didn't believe in myself for a long time. Okay, we're going to enter now what we call the lightning round. Mikey, you're going to start it off because you're the starter offer today. And
jack off.
Okay.
Jack her offer. Sorry.
Okay. Mikey, can you jack her offer, Andrew?
Circle jerker. Sorry.
Oh my God!
This just went south quick. So
I'm just witnessing. Okay.
Perfect. What's the difference between friendships you've built inside and outside of the fellowship?
What's the difference? Is it me? Is it me? Right? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I haven't built too many friendships outside of the fellowship. And I'm not saying that I've limited myself off. I actually I have. Now that I think about it, at my work, I've really become good friends with some folks at my work. But this is a terrible question for a fast answer. I haven't. Let's just say I haven't built too many. I don't surround myself with anybody who's not in recovery or at least on the same path I am. I don't have any wasted time for any of that other fluff. I don't have any time for people asking me if I want to go hang out and smoke weed on their couch all day. I don't have time for people who want to stay up for 3 fucking days snorting line. Like I don't have time. Like all that shit. I've burned myself out on all that. So if I don't know that you're not there to begin with, I really don't. I'm not going to impress myself upon you. So, gone. Done. Sorry.
Bang.
Pass.
Okay, question again, Mikey.
What's the difference between friendships you've built inside and outside of the fellowship?
Boom. Okay, well, past tense, friendships I built before the fellowship just didn't have the same level of depth or interaction. Most guys in my life didn't want to understand or talk about feelings. And that's still a big difference between my friends in the program and out. I mean, generally, my shares at every meeting I'm at are sharing my feelings. And generally, my conversations with my friends are like, how are you feeling today? Like, really, I'm asking how you're doing, but I want to know how you're feeling. So I'd say that there's a greater veracity, like there's a greater truth inside my friendships in the program because I feel like I have some people that are genuinely interested in my well-being and that I'm genuinely interested in theirs. And, I still have a couple good friends outside of the program, but I still feel a bit limited on talking about feelings. Done.
Perfect, man. Love that. You got to answer, Mikey.
Short answer for me, there is not really much of a difference because I am very vocal about being in recovery. I can't necessarily open up to them. I can open up to them, but they're not going to give me real spiritual answers. They're going to give me like, who fucking cares? Fuck that person, blah, 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 blah. And it's not that easy, right? It's not that easy. So, I mean, for me, man, like 96% of the people I have in my life today are in recovery. The other 4% are just those shiny quarters that I've had for a long, long time. But they also know that I'm in recovery, so they don't jeopardize anything for me. And it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing that I get to have this thing and people know that I'm in recovery, and it's not really jeopardized. But I'm getting yelled at by a dog right now.
I like dogs.
Your new name for me is Mikey Pants Dropper.
Mikey Pants. Whoa. Okay, Streaky
Sorry.
Buns.
Is it my turn?
Ask me a question.
All right.
Streaky Buns.
How does the concept we keep what we have by giving it away relate to your experience in the Brotherhood?
Okay, well, it totally turns around to service, and the only way that I am actually living my true existence right now is to be in service. The whole point of this program is to change our days to finding the ways that we need to be in service of those around us. And so instead of it being a take brotherhood, it's what I can offer, how I can make your life better, and in that remain out of myself and remain clean. Done.
Love you. Ready, Mikey?
Shoot.
What is the concept? How does the concept of we keep what we have by giving it away relate to your experience of the Brotherhood?
It's a pretty simple thing. I can only keep what I have by giving it away. That's the concept, right? It's the freely giving of myself and the things that I learned. It's that's the whole concept in and of itself, is not be a selfish, self-centered prick that I was before I found these rooms. And when I get to be that person, and when I get to try and help somebody along in this journey, when I get to be there and say, hey, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, this is what I did to get through it, it opens up a whole new world to this we part, right? Because like now it's not only me relying on other people. Now I can be that person that's reliable, and I can be that person that's there for other people, which is a foreign motherfucking thing in Mikey's world. But that's you know, it helps me build these relationships and these connections. Point blank, period.
Love you, man.
Awesome.
Love you. So Andrew, how
Andrew?
does the concept of we keep we have only by giving away relate to your experience of the brothership? That's a great question, Andrew. I'll answer that. When I came here, I heard that saying, and I think it's in our literature. And here's where it takes me back to, I don't know why you would be in this program if you're not going to work the 12 steps of the program, you're not going to read the literature. It says right there, we keep what we have only by giving it away. So as I was receiving these things, I'm already on the forefront knowing that as I'm receiving them, you're telling me if I want to keep these things, I got to give them away. So as it started trickling in, started trickling it out. And it's funny because a lot of people, my mindset was as I'm receiving these things, if I give it out, I'm just going to be lack of it, right? There's going to be a lack thereof if I throw it out there. No. The more I threw that shit out there, the more my super soaker started getting upgraded, right? The more I would trickle it out there, my super soaker went to a double barrel super soaker. Then I got the backpack battery on there, right? It's because the more and more I gave it away, the more fruitful I was in those endeavors. And I shit you not, man. That is not a joke or a lie or a facade. The more and more you give love away, the more and more you were going to receive it. The more and more you give away anything that you have, the better you're going to be at it, and the more and more you're going to receive it. And you're going to have people that are going to, help support you while doing it. So,
Love that.
love that.
Boom. Okay, here we go. Brotherhood teaches us that we rise together or not at all. Our healing is bound together in mutual service and support. How does helping others in your fellowship deepen your own recovery? Mikey.
The fuck? Same ditto. I'm just gonna regurgitate the last answer because it kind of feels like that to me.
You won't do it.
What was the very last question? The very last part of that question?
The part of that was, how does helping others in your fellowship deepen your own recovery?
That is.
I can only keep what I have by giving it away. Ding, ding. We're just going to drive that nail home even further.
Okay.
I'm just going to drive that nail home even further because, that's exactly. I can only keep what I have by giving it away. And when I came to the rooms, I had to be a taker. I had to take, right? And then I got to a point where it was finally being able to start to give back. I was that person, man, if you could believe it, couldn't share. I was nervous to share. My father taught me growing up, if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you shut your mouth. So I was always afraid to share because I didn't want to sound stupid. And finally, it just started to be, my name's Mikey, I'm an addict. And it grew from there. And now, like, I've learned all this stuff in this process. I don't know everything, but I try and give back as much as I possibly can. And
Love that.
it helps.
Love that. Okay. Boom. Andrew, Brotherhood teaches us we rise or fall together or not at all. Our healing is bound together in mutual service and support. How does helping others in your fellowship deepen your own recovery?
So as I threw myself into service, you realize all these things, right? And service work is a posture of the heart. I'm gonna throw a zinger on you guys. Look, if serving is beneath you, then leading is beyond you. You with me? You hear me, Mikey?
Say that again. Say that again.
Yeah. If serving is beneath you, if you're one of these people that think that service and service work and serving is beneath you, then leading is beyond you.
Oh.
Ooh, you can't learn how to be a leader unless you serve, man. Unless you give it back, you got to give that shit out. Unless if you want to lead people, if you want to lead your palace, your whatever your little house is that you built, bro, you got to be of service to yourself and the community first, man. So if you think if you're one of these people that you think service, I'll just keep it real strict. If you think serving is beneath you, leading is beyond you. Done.
Okie dokie. I am now Milan. How does helping others in your fellowship deepen your own recovery? Well, first thing it does is get me out of myself, which I feel like is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to be serving. You know, like every single piece of literature I says talks about asking for what you should be doing today at the start of your day, you know, to help others and to be of service. So, I mean, right there, that strengthens the roots in my recovery. And I have a real problem getting inside my head and thinking I'm real fucking important all the time. And I've learned through service work that it can just be that little tiny bit of
Mm-hmm.
whoa, not me, not me. And my brain is actually off my stuff in there. You know, it was like Mikey saying earlier when he's like, man, I just had an hour and 15 minutes. I didn't think about that shit because he wasn't thinking about himself.
Now it's been 2 hours.
Yep.
Almost.
Whoop. That's right.
I love you, man.
Okie dokie. Mikey, question? You got a question? Whoa, he's like, what are you talking about? Questions?
I think we're about rounded out, aren't we? Are we about done?
Well, it's up. I mean, we could call it right now.
I thought we were
Okay.
almost there. I was gonna end it on some last final moments to kind of end it out. That's okay.
Well, hold on. Let Mikey go first because
Mikey go first.
Let Mikey go
What are
first,
we?
and then you can.
What are
Just
we
finish
rounding
Just a
out?
thoughts.
final comment
Finishing
about
thoughts.
brotherhood.
Man, I just like that was a perfect thing that you brought up right at the end because it's been almost 2 hours that I haven't had to sit in my brain and I haven't had to like just have that internal struggle, right? And why? Because I was able to let go of my fucking mopey ass fucking Eeyore attitude and come and be a part of a podcast and come and show up for my recovery, right? And I'm grateful for it, man, because you know, if Andrew wouldn't have fucking asked me to do this today, I would have probably just been sitting in my lair of despair still and spinning my wheels because like I'm trying to take certain things and put in the footwork to try and alleviate this financial stress that I'm gonna embark on, and it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. It's not just gonna go away. Like you know, Milan, I love that you said like pray to relieve these financial stressors
Pray
or
for
whatever
what
it
you
might
don't
be.
have. Yeah.
So that's the, you know, I learned in this process, man, I can't just pray for fucking financial relief and it's just going to grow on a tree or somebody's going to drop a stack of hundreds in a paper bag and I'm
It's
just
gonna give you
magically going
motivation,
to
though.
find it.
Gonna motivate you to get it.
That's exactly like I need to pray and I need to do what I've been doing. I've been trying to put in the footwork and you know, the honesty to it all is I don't know what's going to happen and that's what makes it so uncomfortable right now. But I love that Andrew said that, right? Like God removes these things from your life so he makes rooms for the things that you need. And shit.
Everything
I
you
haven't
lose
learned-
creates space for everything you need.
That's right.
Give me a B, give me an R, give me an O, give me a T, give me an H, give me an ERHOOD. What do we got?
Brotherhood.
That's right.
I tried to spell it out. I was like, what is he even saying right there? I was like, he's just doing random letters.
You know what it is, man?
I can spell
it comes down to-
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Don't do it.
I learned to I just learned to trust this process, man. And sometimes it's not easy, but you know, I'm gonna struggle. It's okay, man. I'm gonna struggle. Just because
Struggle
I got
bus.
clean doesn't mean life is gonna act accordingly and everything's gonna go in my favor. I just have to stay in position to be in position. And through the brotherhood part of this today, man, that's exactly what I've been able to get for the last 2 hours. And I'm grateful for that, man. And I love you both and I appreciate you both very fucking much.
And
I
Mikey,
love you.
you've been struggling here lately, and you stay clean.
Sure the fuck have.
Then you're fucking winning, bro. You're doing it. You're doing
I
it.
did not have to wake up and feed a monster before I fed Mikey.
Exactly. It can always be worse. It can always be worse. So remember this. I'm just gonna list off my little jams for the day. If serving is beneath you, leading is beyond you. Get in service. If you want to be a leader, get in service. It teaches you how to be a fucking leader. And then you can't skip the struggle and expect the crown. Got to get through that struggle. Turbulence is the price we pay that you pay for high flying. Turbulence is the price you pay for flying high. Excuse me. And everything you lose creates space for everything you need. Stop allowing what you see to keep you from where you're going. And maybe God hasn't given you your next task because of how you're handling your current one.
Ooh. And tune in next time for more recovery fun. Bye-bye, everybody. Please help us help others. If you like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.